Hey, Brennan here. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for tuning in. All right, we got a great show for you today. We are talking wide receivers. The draft is about 2.5 weeks away. I can't freaking wait. I am tired of the pre-draft scouting process. I am not going to lie. We're going to talk wide receivers today, okay? But we're going to get the all-important draft capital and landing spot, so we are going to have fun. This is my version 4.0, I believe. I've been doing this show probably for the last 6-7 months, so this is going to be the final pre-draft version. We're going to have some fun with this today. The first question I get asked a ton in my NFL Drafts Big Board subscribers Slack chat is, how good is the class? We know it's not a great class, right? In fact, I don't think there's really any wide receiver ones in this class, with the exception of Travis Hunter, and that's, a big, question mark if he is going to be a wide receiver in the NFL or if he's going to be a DB primarily. So, we don't know, all right? And we're going to talk about him here very shortly. But I think most of these guys are going to be wide receiver 2s, majority probably wide receiver 3s. Hate to say it, but I think there's a lot of Jags in this class that are going to be guys that are just going to be buried on the depth chart. We are going to go and we're going to talk about a few of those as well, all right? So let's hope for day 1 and day 2 draft capital, folks, because day 3 draft capital, go back and look at history the last 5 years. It ain't pretty for hit rates, I can tell you right now. So if your favorite sleeper gets round 5 or 6 draft capital, most likely we are not going to see him on our Dynasty rosters, but we're going to have some fun. Before we get started, if you want to support the channel, I am marching towards 17,000 subscribers before the NFL draft. I think I'm like 180 short. Hit that subscribe button. Help me get there. If you want to become a subscriber and support the channel to my Big Board subscription service, it's great. I do all 22 film breakups or film cut-ups. I already got 2026 and 2027 rookies positional ranks already available. I don't know there's too many spots out there that offer that future glimpse of what the rookie class looks like. All right, let's get right to it, man. Tier 1, I'm going to break these down in this show. I'm going to do some fun tiers here, okay? The first tier is going to be year 1 starter, wide receiver 2 or 3, you can see on the screen. Then this tier 2 is going to be future starter, wide receiver 2s and 3s. All right, these are guys that probably aren't going to get immediate production, but we're going to hope in a year or two that they finally emerge on a depth chart and get out on the field. Third tier is going to be bench players, spot starters, guys that we're going to probably have as flex options at best, keeping our fingers crossed that they can, come off the bench, maybe get some production from those players. And then we're going to have fun with the deep stash say goodbye tier. That is basically guys that we have high hopes for, but in reality, they all come crashing down because they're going to be mid to late day 3 selections and most likely are going to get buried on a depth chart. 1 or 2 of those might emerge, right? They always do. They always seem to emerge at least for a little bit, but most likely day 3 guys, if you look at history, like I said, they really don't, hit our dynasty rosters from a consistency standpoint. All right, let's get right to it, man. Year 1 starter, wide receiver 2 or 3 players, okay? So I expect these guys to get on the field year 1. All right, they should be weekly fantasy options for us this fall. Round 1 players, a lot of these guys are going to sneak into day or round 2 as well. Guy at the top is Travis Hunter, man. 6 foot, receiver, 188 pounds, man. This dude, I'm telling you, is the best route runner in the class without a doubt. Have all 22 films, all my NFL Draft Big Board subscription service. And the question is, he comes with a huge risk for us in rookie drafts because I don't think we're going to get a clear cut. After he's drafted, we might have a GM come out and say like, oh yeah, we're going to put him out as wide receiver, but he's going to play cornerback too. So that is a risk. So he's going to be a very interesting wild card selection in our rookie drafts. The landing spots are, it's going to be one of the top 5 teams. So I'm not going to talk much about Travis Hunter because we're not really sure of what's going to go on. In fact, I'm not going to go in depth in a lot of these players. I have rookie scouting reports, detailed rookie scouting reports on all of these players that really dig into, the scouting and everything. And as you see on Travis Hunter here, this scouting report card, I've got these. I'm going to pop up one of these for every player, and these are also available for you guys to take a look at on the NFL Draft at Big Boards. All right, my number 2 receiver right now, at least in my ranks, pre-draft, is Luther Burden. All right, I know there's a lot of question marks on Luther Burden. He didn't run the big route tree. He didn't, run a lot of vertical routes, and I know I feel your pain on that, right? He was used a lot around the line of scrimmage, wasn't asked to do a lot of creatives. Well, no, he did a lot of creative stuff actually at Missouri, around line of scrimmage, short area and stuff. But as a route runner, traits, we watch the traits. We watch him as a route runner. I think he's got versatility. He's got a great release package, good, strong hands. I think he's got good yak. I like his awareness and his coverage navigation in the second level with the ball in his hands. So you can see on the PFF grades, he kind of, was mid all along the way. As you can see on these cards, guys, these ranks that you see on the PFF grades are the ranks out of the top 30 wide receivers in the draft to kind of give you an idea of where they stack up at the class. So as I'm talking and really kind of discussing briefly about these players, you can kind of see how their stats stack up against the rest of the players in the class. I like Luther Burden. I think he's a little misunderstood right now. Really came out firing as a freshman a few years back, but he's a true junior going to the NFL. He got good news. I think he's going to be a good player. I'm really excited to see where he lands. All right. Number 3 coming for me is Matthew Golden, another receiver. I got a film breakdown on this YouTube channel. Go check it out, where I really kind of showcase his skills. And I love the way this kid plays, right? He's at that size, 5'11", 190 plus or minus pounds, good short area quickness, good route runner, good alignment, versatility, plays inside, outside, good ball skills and hands. Now, when you watch his film, you're going to say to yourself, man, he was in motion a lot and got a lot of free releases. I get it, but I think this guy's got a lot of twitch to his game. And again, I watch and look for movement skills and his ability to create separation. That's the name of the game as a wide receiver in the NFL. You got to beat your DB. You got to create space. You got to do that with manipulation. You got to do that in all different sorts of ways. And I think Matthew Golden runs the entire route tree. The only knock on him is, his physicality, but I think he's got enough physicality, something I value very highly, scouting wide receivers, enough to win in the NFL. Space creator. Again, a guy who can create space, good with the ball in his hands after as well. Contested catch, you can see he was 70 here on his PFF grades. And, you can see a lot of these stats are at the low end, but I'm not going to let that bother me, man. These are just stats by a company, but I see what I see on the field. Matthew Golden, he has got the ability to separate on the field. I'm hoping that translates to the NFL. All right, Tech McMillan here coming in at number 4. He is the wide receiver 1 for a lot of people, all right, a bigger receiver. I have a hard time, I'm telling you, with these bigger receivers. I think they take some time unless you are a true elite athlete to really, have the ability to create separation. And I guess that's where my Tech McMillan kind of fear factor is a little bit. Yeah, we know he's got the length, the catch radius, he's got the body control, he's got the good yards after the catch ability, but he lacks route suddenness to me watching the All-22 film. And again, if you're a subscriber to the big boards, I have like 5 or 6 All-22 film cut-ups where you can see he comes in and out of his breaks pretty good. But as a bigger receiver, he is going to be as an X-type receiver as well. He played 77% out wide. He's going to be lined up if he plays X against the best DB, and I'm wondering if he's going to be able to win outside of the contested catch, big physical frame. We've seen these receivers before kind of take a little while to get started. I just think Golden and Luther Burden are more twitchy space creators, and again, I value that very highly, is just getting away from your DB. I think they do a better job than Tech McMillan. Now, Tech McMillan has a specific skill set given his size, big, strong hands, his length, and all of that. But again, I like those other 2 receivers just a little bit better. All right, and the last guy in this tier is Emeka Egbuka, a 4-year player at Ohio State, primarily played out of the slot, so he is going to be a slot receiver. He's just a really well-polished receiver, but as you can see on my grades here, there are B's across the board. Like, I just don't think he's that outstanding route runner. He's a fluid mover, good hands. He's a defensive manipulator. He's a physical blocker. The NFL is going to love that, the fact that he gets dirty in the run game. A lot of teams are going to value that very highly, but it's his length and his limited route concepts that kind of concern me. He was just always around the line of scrimmage, similar to Luther Burden. I think Luther Burden has a little bit more pop in his game when he has the ball in his hands. That's why I have him valued a little higher, but Emeka Egbuka is going to be a solid pro. Don't think he's going to go in the first round. I think we might get 1 or maybe 3 receivers in the first round this year. I think Egbuka is going to be probably in the beginning or middle of the second round. All right, so that rounds out the 5 guys that I'm most comfortable with projecting that they are going to hit our dynasty rosters where we can use them as a consistent option in the fall. All right, so second tier, let's get to that. future starter, wide receiver 2 or 3. All right, these are players that I expect to get some opportunity in year 1, but more year 2, year 3 with some continued development. Mostly are going to be wide receiver 3s on a team. 1 or 2 might sneak in as wide receiver 2. They're going to be weekly flex options for us in 2025, most likely late round 2 and round 3 selections. All right, last year, I love giving history lessons when I do these videos. Last year in round 2, we had Coleman, McConkey, Polk, and Mitchell. And you can see that McConkey was the lead guy out of that. Polk kind of faded. He didn't turn out to be much. Mitchell and Coleman are developmental players who didn't get off the ground year 1, and this is what I expect out of this tier. So I wanted to use those guys kind of as examples, all right? First guy I want to talk about, my 6th receiver in my ranks, is Isaiah Bond. I really, really enjoy Isaiah Bond watching his film. I think he is arguably the best space creator and route runner, one of them in the class. Love the ball in his hands and his ability to do damage in the yak department. He's got good spatial awareness. He's a sudden mover. Now, a lot of people are going to say, hey, you know, he didn't do a whole lot at Texas, and I get it. It was a concern that I had as well. But watching the All-22 film, his explosiveness, his ability, his twitch, his ability to get in and out of his breaks, his defensive manipulation. I really, really liked what I saw watching Isaiah Bond. So I'm pretty excited about him. Yards after catch, he was actually ranked 1st. Well, he was actually 2nd. We're going to talk about a guy who's got yards after the catch, a number that'll blow your mind. So stick around for that towards the end of the show. I consider Isaiah Bond, 1st in that department in the ranks out of the top 30 wide receivers. So he's an exciting player. I really, really am excited to see where he gets drafted. I'm higher on him than most. Recently, there's been reports out there that he's turned into a diva, and he's been, pretty much, debunking those claims that he's a difficult person to deal with, because I'm an intangibles person. You watch any of my videos, you listen to my podcast, you know that I don't like guys with bad intangibles, all right? So I'm really hoping that this is just, there's not a lot of fire if the smoke that's out there right now, but I'm not going to let that defer me right now. Hopefully he doesn't turn into a problem. Right now I'm going to just say, based on the tape and the All-22 film that I've been watching, Isaiah Bond, I think, is one of the best route runners in the class. Coming in at number 7, Jalen Knoll. All right, another twitchy guy, 5'10", 194-pound player. All right, this guy, he wins all over the field. You got to love his tape from Iowa State. He's a space creator, good acceleration, alignment versatility. We love that in players. I really like that in players. I think he's got an expansive route tree, all right? Knock on him is really his catch radius isn't great, but that's not what he's going to be used in the NFL as a vertical threat. He is going to be used, I think, as a player who is going to be used around the line of scrimmage, short, intermediate passes. He's got the ability to beat you deep. He's got the ability to run the route tree. I've seen it all on his film. Excited about him. Again, he's a space creator. He's got twitch. He's got strong hands. So I'm excited to see where he lands as well. Really good space creation. Another guy that has really good space creation coming in here at number 8 is Jalen Royals, all right? 6-foot player. Again, short area quickness, explosive, got good hands. He's got a compact frame, yards after the catch. I really, really like. Again, he's kind of similar to Knoll, where he doesn't have that contested catch and the ability to probably to win physical hand-on, battles at the catch point. But I think they're going to be used in space. I think they're going to be used to get the ball in their hands relatively quickly from the line of scrimmage and let their athleticism and their twitchiness and explosive playmaking ability just let them do their thing. So I'm excited about Jalen Royals. He got hurt this year, so you can see his stats, only 839 yards and 6 TDs. That was before he got hurt. That was 2024 production. But you can see yards after the catch per reception coming in at, right behind Bond at 7.9. Yards per route run for you analytical guys. He came in 5th in the class. So I like him as a player, all right? And why? Because he has got space creation ability, all right? And that is the name of the game. All right, we're going to get off this space creation right now. Now we're going to shift gears and pivot to some physical receivers who I'm excited about, who are going to win more with physicality than the space creator. The next two players that we're going to talk about. Jack Besh coming in at number 9 for me. I've got a film breakdown on this YouTube channel. Go check it out. I broke this thing down like 3 months ago before he was the flavor of the month about 2 months ago. Jack Besh is a physical receiver. Now, you might might be concerned about his production. He did nothing at TCU besides this year, and we have bad memories of TCU wide receivers, me especially with Jalen Reagor from my Philadelphia Eagles, still haunts me to this day. We could have had Justin Jefferson. I'm still happy with who we have as Eagles, though, with my two receivers. But in any case, Jack Bech, I think if there is a team out there looking for a tough, physical receiver, I think he's going to play, he played out wide, 73%, 27 inside. He's got the contested catch ability, 66.7. He ranks 6th in the class. If there's a team out there looking for a big physical receiver, maybe they get like a team like Miami that have Hill and Waddle, that maybe they want something different, a guy that can move the chain, somebody who can get the tough yards after catch, or maybe the guy that just needs to move the chains with 6-7 yard plays. But this guy can box out anybody physically, and on a one-on-one contested catch situation, he's going to have a hard time getting beat. This guy is a physical beast, and I think he's the first real physical receiver here on the list, coming in at number 9. As you can see, I lean more on space creators, but now as my space creating wide receivers start to dry up a little bit, I'm going to lean physical here and take Jack Bech here, who I think a team who wants a physical receiver is going to tab him here, maybe maybe round 3, maybe early round 4. All right, guy, last player in this tier, Jaden Higgins, coming in at number 10, probably a little lower on him than most ranks out there that I have seen. But I do my ranks based on my film watching ability. So here he is at number 10. And look, I like this guy. He's got a good release. He's a good route runner, tracks the ball well, alignment versatility, good hands and ball skills. I just think his physicality, to me, I think he needs to get a little stronger. All right, 6'4", 215-pound receiver. So is he going to play X or is he going to play Z? And if he does play X because he's one of these bigger receivers, we're going to have to see if he's going to be able to battle the best DB in the NFL on that team. I think he's going to have a hard time doing that. So I think he's going to play more on the Z, and I think he is going to take a little time to develop. Good receiver, excited about him. Have a film breakdown on this channel as well, where I break down his film, and you can see he's got some good ability with the yak ability. He's got everything that you want is a good, solid receiver. Just did a rookie report with him, and my comp for me was Cedric Tillman, and then my partner Jason DiRienzo, my podcast co-host, had the kid from the Texans, Nico Collins. So widespread there, although Cedric Tillman seemed to be emerging before he got a concussion last year in Cleveland. So I have high hopes for Jaden Higgins. I think it's just going to take a little bit of time. All right, so let's get to our next tier. It is bench player spot starter. Okay, these are players that I expect will take time to get acclimated to the NFL and carve out a possible role, most likely wide receiver 3 on a team. First couple might be wide receivers 2, but they got shortcomings in their game for me to be true consistent dynasty assets, possible flex players in the future. These players I think are late round 3, early day 3, meaning round 4. All right. So round 3 in 2024 draft, again, a little history lessons for you. Corley, Burton, Wilson went to Pittsburgh. McMillan looks like a hit down there at Tampa, and McCaffrey, who went to Washington. So, I mean, that's kind of where we are. That was last year's round 3. So we were really excited about a lot of those players, and they have yet to really do anything except McMillan looked like he was emerging down there in Tampa Bay. So the first guy here I want to talk about is Trey Harris, coming in at number 11 in my overall ranks. All right, again, big X receiver, super productive, 5th-year senior out of Ole Miss. The dude just tore it up over 1,000 yards. I mean, early in the season before he got hurt, this guy every week was putting up 200-something yards. So you might be thinking, why isn't he higher? And it is just the lack of limited route concepts that he ran at Ole Miss, and his burst and speed, I think, is just kind of average. So, yeah, he was productive in college. That's great, but there are millions of college players who have over 1,000 yards every year that never sniff the NFL field and our dynasty rosters. There's just other players who I think are faster, have more crispness to their game, have the ability to create more separation. He found himself, I think, in a lot of contested catch situations. So I'm just a little nervous about his ability to consistently separate at the next level. So this might be a player that needs a little bit more time to develop. He's got the size, 6'3", 210, about that size. Yards per route run for you analytical guys out there, right? Coming in first. So for all the guys that run numbers that don't watch film, you're probably higher on Trey Harris than I am. Okay. Kyle Williams just dropped a rookie report here as well. Just got done watching his all-22 film. This guy has got, again, route manipulation, large route tree, good release, versatile alignment, which is great. I love the way he tempos his runs. He's a zone beater. My problem with Kyle Williams, why he's not higher, and this is about where he should be. He's going to be an older prospect. His size, his play strength, and his contact balance. Again, 5'10", 182 pounds. We're about there. But let me tell you something. If you go look at your dynasty roster and go look at all the players in the NFL, there aren't a lot of great dynasty wide receivers 5'10" and less. I'm going to say maybe 10, right? That you can say consistently you're excited to put in your dynasty roster. So, these smaller receivers that got twitch and 180 pounds, you have got to be extra physical to make it in the NFL, to make up for your lack of just mass and size. And Kyle Williams just came up a little short for me watching his film. That's why he is down here. But good player, yards after the catch, coming in at second, about there as well, at 8 as well. So he can do some damage, get the ball in his hands quick, let him work, let him do his thing. But I think from a physical standpoint in the NFL, I'm not sure he is going to be able to hold up. All right, let's go back to the physical wide receivers. Coming in at number 13, Alec Manor here. All right, another player. We did extensive all-22 film breakdowns, my podcast co-host and I was really surprised that he came back this year. It says senior on here, but I think he might be a true junior. But man, there's a lot of people who are really excited about Alec Manor. I felt like he needed to come back and get a little bit more experience. Okay, you can see his PFF grades here, where he ranks out of the top 30 wide receivers, and he's at the bottom of the barrel for the majority, of the ranks. And yes, he's physical. Yes, he has decent short area quickness, strong hands, route manipulation, but his vertical separation, I think, is average. Even though he has a lot of great plays, catching the ball downfield, there's always somebody in his back pocket, right? And I think he's just got a really limited route tree. He's got the physicalness. He's got everything you want. But again, it comes down to space creation. And if he's got to go one-on-one against a DB and a DB's in his grill at the line of scrimmage, is he going to be able to release and separate? And I'm not so sure. So again, I'm a little maybe lower on Alec Manor than a lot of people. Another physical receiver, I call this guy the unicorn of the draft, Savion Williams at number 14. Okay, I'm taking him here about here because I'm not enamored with a lot of the wide receivers left. So I'm going to be picking players from here on out that have certain skills that I like, that I'm hoping they can continue to develop, and their shortcomings that they can continue to develop as well. I put out a film review on Savion Williams. This guy not only played wide receiver, man, he was playing running back a lot. So they used him as a versatile weapon at TCU. Similar to Jack Besh, he didn't do much his first 3 years. So he is a late bloomer, a one-year wonder, as I like to call them. But he's a beast, and he's a unicorn. So if there is a team out there, all right, Cordell Patterson is a comp that I used a while back, a comp that I think fits him and a lot of other people are using, because he is that kind of running back, wide receiver, utility weapon that an NFL franchise is going to get enamored. I think he's a pretty good route runner, good strong hands. You can see on my card here, he's got good acceleration and speed. He's got the physicality, the contact balance. He just lacks nuance. He's raw. He's raw as a route runner. So it concerns me on just how he's going to create space in the NFL on a regular basis. But there's a team that's going to take him, and they're going to try and develop him into some sort of player, an ultimate weapon on the field. So that's going to be pretty exciting to see who takes a shot with him. All right, the last receiver I want to talk about, number 15 in this tier, is another physical, but he is undersized as well, Xavier Restrepo. Man, what a great season he had at Miami. I love football players like Xavier Restrepo. Tough, physical, sudden mover. I think he's creative. He's got play strength at the wazoo, good spatial awareness. He's got hands. He just lacks the ideal size, and his length and his vertical speed is average at best, okay? So he is going to find a specific role to me in the NFL. He is going to be a slot receiver. You can see on the card here, 90% he was in the slot. Certainly understand it. That's where he's going to go. So he's going to be a wide receiver 3 at most, I think, in the NFL, a flex role player that will stick in our roster. Hopefully, if he gets an opportunity in the NFL, I just love just him as a player. One of my favorite players in college last year. The production was off the charts. I think he broke some records down there in Miami. I saw that game. And again, I did a film review on this YouTube channel as well, showing you all of his skills, man. So go check that out. All right, here we go with our last tier. And I tried to be a little sarcastic. I'm going to have some fun. I am so scouted out of this rookie class. So maybe I'm punch drunk or something like that. But I figured I'd name this tier Deep Stash Say Goodbye. All right. These are long shot players that I expect to get buried on depth charts. We're still going to rank them anyway to have some fun. Most are going to be wide receiver 4s. There'll be a rare flex fantasy option late round 4 and later in the draft. The hit rate is terrible, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these players, but we have to pray for great landing spots for these players, right? Players that land in spots where we're like, oh, okay, there is not a lot on the depth chart there. Maybe he has an opportunity. If these players get drafted on a team like Kansas City or something, you can just say goodbye, right? Teams that have deep wide receiver rooms. All right, let's get right to it. It's number 16, Pat Bryant. I did a film breakdown. I know that sounds like a broken record, but it is what I do on this YouTube channel. I am always putting out film breakdowns of your favorite rookies. Going to be starting on 2026 players next month, so get ready. Hit that subscribe button. Because if you're tired of the 2025 class like I am, wait till you see what I got in store for 2026. We're going to be going right out of the gate with some rookie film breakdowns. Pat Bryant, I like his size, 6'2", 204 pounds, body control, ball skills, football IQ. I really, really like watching him. He just looks like a smart player. When he runs his routes, he looks like he knows where he's supposed to go. Alignment versatility, which I know sounds like a broken record, but I like that in players. He's got late hands, love the late hands and contested catch boundary receivers. He just lacks burst and top-end speed. And his route tree is pretty good overall, but he doesn't run an extensive route tree. But I just like him as a player. And again, I'm going to go with size here a little bit, 6'2", 204, to see if he can develop into some sort of wide receiver 3 on a team. Torrey Horton got hurt this year. He is also a senior, similar kind of player as Pat we just talked about, right? This guy understands leverage. He can win on the boundary. Had some really great catches in 2024 and 2023. Go back watching his all-22 film. He's got good release. I like his vertical speed. He's just limited physically to me. He's a little on the thin side at 6'2", and route space creation. I don't know. Again, we talked about it a little bit before with these a little bigger receivers, if they can create space consistently in the NFL. That is where I have him concerning, just with his physicality and his ability to play tough in the NFL. All right, Tez Johnson, a guy at the beginning of this draft cycle. Oh my God, he was getting round one rookie mocks on guys' YouTube channels, which was insane. But again, he's 5'9", 156 pounds, right? So this guy's going to have a limited role in some sort of gadget role. There's no way he's going to hold up in the NFL at 156 pounds. So I'd like to see him drafted to the Denver Broncos. His stepbrother is Bo Nix, which I think would be really cool. I think he's going to be easily a mid to late day 3 selection. But there might be a team that takes him early, given his speed. You can see on the card here, acceleration, route tempo is really good. Good agility, change of direction skills. He plays special teams too. I could see a team taking a shot with Tez Johnson, putting him on punt or kick returns maybe. But he's just undersized. His ADOT was ridiculously low for getting passes at the line of scrimmage. I think it was like 4 or 3 or something crazy like that. And he's an older prospect. I believe he's a 5th-year player as well. So he's a little bit older, but the size is concerning. I know the Tank Dells, I mean, he's not really holding up in the NFL. And, of course, Devonta Smith, my Philadelphia Eagle, has held up well. But he's a wide receiver, too, right, on that team. So, still, Tez Johnson, he's going to have to find a specific role in the team. All right, 2 more players left, okay? These were really hard decisions because everyone's lumped in at the same thing. So I said to myself, I'm going to take some shots on some guys that have some, I think, maybe unique traits. And I went with Dante Thornton Jr. here at number 19. All right. Go watch this guy's highlight film on YouTube. All right. Remember at the beginning of the show, I talked to you about who was first in yards after catch. All right. This guy was 10.7. His average depth of target, his catch percentage was like 25. Every play that he had, he caught a vertical ball. Okay. Now, he started his career at Oregon, and you play Devian C2C. We were excited about him coming out. He came out with Franklin kind of at the same time. They were like, 1A, 1B for that Oregon Ducks team when, again, playing Devian C2C. Moves over to Tennessee, and last year he just explodes with 662 yards and 6 TDs, 76.5 catch percentage. Dude's got 4.3 speed. He kills it at the combine. He's explosive vertically, good ball tracking, wins 50-50 balls, good ball skills in hands, but he has got a slight frame at 6'5", 205, right? So I think a team is going to draft him as just one of those wide receiver 3 or 4s, put him on the field and let him do his thing and run a vertical go route, right? Run a deep post or something and get vertical. Don't think he is a nuanced route runner by any means to get that frame. He's going to have a hard time getting in and out of breaks. So I think he's going to be a one-trick pony in the NFL, but he could be an explosive one who might find a role and get on the field, or he might never see the field. So we'll have to see where he gets drafted. But he's an interesting player at this part of my scouting process when all the rest of the players are just the same, right? There's nothing that stands out with a lot of the other players. They all need development at the NFL. All right, the last guy I want to talk about is Ty Felton. Burner, 4.37, versatile player as well, 6 foot, 183 pounds, senior from Maryland. All right, quick feet, good route runner. He's got a bursty athlete. I like this guy's space creation. I really did. He's sure-handed. Again, he comes up a little light in the physicality because of his slight frame, but if there was one guy, I was thinking is like a comp would be a Jefferson, the kid that went to Pittsburgh. I don't have high hopes that Ty Felton is going to hit my dynasty roster, but I'm here at number 20, folks, at the end of the video, and it was really hard to actually pick the last guy. There's tons of players. You got Jalen Lane. Looking at my big boards here, who came in after at this point, we're just tiering players, right? But just to entertain you, I've got Jalen Lane, Nick Nash, Isaac Tesla, Chimeri Dyke, and Elijah Badger. That's where we are at this stage of the game. None of these guys are going to hit our dynasty roster. One of them might emerge, but to think that which one without draft capital and landing spots, that's going to happen, I think is fool's gold. So there you guys got it, man. That is my last pre-draft wide receiver video. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you're interested in becoming a subscriber to my NFL Draft Big Boards, like I said, I already got ranks for the 2026 rookie class and 2027 rookie class, and we're just starting to work on the 2028 rookie class. Yeah, it may sound insane, but if you play Debian C2C fantasy football formats, it's not insane at all. And the last thing, please hit that subscribe button. I really want to get to 17Ks by the draft. Even if you didn't like the video, even if you don't like my takes, just hit the subscribe button and walk away. It doesn't matter. Thanks for watching. I'll be dropping my tight end show next week, and I already did this for the running back show, so go check that out. Thanks for taking about 20, 25 minutes of your time with me. Thanks for watching.